tell you my name?
Yeah, say your name, what band you're in.
Hi, this is Jonathan. I'm in this band called Beethoven, and right now we're watching Nutmeg.
Well, obviously Beethoven's coming to a lot of attention. People who never heard of them, mostly from Virgin, putting money behind you guys.
Yeah, and putting the record out all over the place.
Yeah. I'd imagine like a Virgin deal would have put you into a little different scene and things are getting promoted.
Well, I don't know. We're playing the same places. They're just a little bit fuller this last 6 months.
Okay, what's your life like on the road these days?
Well, we sold our station wagon. We now have another van, so now we have 2 vans instead of just one and a station wagon. That's an upgrade. The van has air conditioning. That's a lot nicer. Yeah, we're starting to stay at hotels more this year as well.
Oh my God!
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. But the funny thing about it is that now that we're staying in motels more often, the people whose houses we're staying at are like, "What? You don't like us anymore? What?" But it's just like, I'd rather sleep in the bed. Thanks.
All right, talking about the band, there had to be some precursor bands.
Yeah, David and Victor and Chris Muller were in a band called Sitting Duck in Redlands, California, and I think it existed during the summers when they were all going to school at UC Santa Cruz, which is 400 miles north, which is where I was going to school, which is where I met them when they came back after the summer break. And I joined the band in Santa Cruz. We've gone through a number of different permutations with different drummers. Chris Muller played lead guitar for a while, and then he played drums for a while. Then we got another drummer, so then he played pedal steel for a while, and then he quit. And Chris Peterson started playing drums. We got Greg to play lead guitar. Then Greg quit, and I played guitar again for a while. And then Greg came back, and I started playing violin and keyboards. So basically, we've settled down into this lineup for the past about 2.5 years. Right now. Aside from that, though, Chris, the drummer, and Victor, the bass player, and Greg, the guitarist, have another band called the Monks of Doom with David Immerglick, who's from the Ophelias right now. And then I've been also recording with them a solo record of mine, which with all of those guys, plus with Greg, plus with some people from the Wrestling Worms, who are another band from Santa Cruz. And let's see, also some of those people, most of the people in our band used to play in a band called Box of Laughs in Santa Cruz. That's who did. And also the song we did tonight called Flowers. David used to play bass in that band. Chris Muller played guitar, and Chris Peterson played drums in that for a while. Anthony, our other drummer, played drums in that for a while. Victor even played bass for a little bit. Besides that, Eric Kirkendall was singing, and Chris Hart was playing guitar in that band. That band existed for a long time, like from the entire length of my college career, 4 years at UC Santa Cruz. Box of Laughs.
What kind of students came to read Beethoven?
I was a music student.
So you got to screw out.
No, that's not exactly what that means. I mean, I was the only music student. Well, Chris Muller was a music student as well. I also studied classical languages. David was a math student. Victor was a literature student. Chris Peterson was a philosophy student.
I was referring rather than the categories as to
how we were.
Yeah.
We're all brilliant.
Okay. So you could get by and just your God-given talent.
Yeah.
No one knew where she was, and I'm like spreading.
I hear a lot of like bluegrass influences in at least your playing. Am I wrong in your experience?
I started playing violin when I was 18. When I went to college, so that I could play in the orchestra because I wanted to play in the orchestra. I'd been playing guitar and bass up until then in bands in high school. I played guitar and bass, and so I was learning how to play classical violin at the same time learning how to play the violin in this band. So stylistically, I kind of just drew from everything that I was hearing and trying to say what kind of lick is that they're playing? Where are they sliding on the neck and stuff like that to try and figure out how exactly how to organize stylistically things to fit into a band. So bluegrass was a pretty obvious thing that fits into band structure. I mean, a little bit easier than classical music.
Yeah. But did you go to see bluegrass or?
I don't really know. I've listened to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but also Indian music as much, or African fiddle playing, or Balkan music, or even gamelan. they play rhubarb and stuff, and all that sort of stuff has affected, you know, the way that I play the violin.
Okay, so what do you listen to, or what order were you listening to when the band sort of had its formative period?
Me personally. I mean, see, all the members of this band, for one, all the members of this band have completely different musical backgrounds that overlap in certain areas. We all listen to vastly different things that overlap in certain areas, and we all write music. And where that overlaps is where the Kenversations Beethoven music is, and where it doesn't is where like Monks of Doom and other like my solo stuff and otherwise, you know, Chris's solo stuff or Greg's solo stuff, you know, it's like it goes off in different tangents. So the music, I mean, so for me to like list music that I listen to or music that I was listening to,
It wouldn't go over the whole beat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Pitch of Tent Records. You know, obviously, I think records have come out. Your name on it, you know, on that label. What other groups have been on Pitch?
Spot 1019 from San Francisco. Originally, those guys went to school with us in Santa Cruz. We put out 2 of their records. The first one is called Spot 1019. The second one is called This World Owes Me a Buzz. And Wrestling Worms record, which is a band from Santa Cruz. They're great. They have a large horn section and 2 drummers, bass player, singer, guitarist. The River Roses from Tucson, it's a 4-piece band, and the 10 Foot Faces, they're from Los Angeles, kind of a 60s, kind of a modern 60s surf band, but more modern sounding.
Sort of like, say, White Tornado by R.E.M. and that band?
Well, no, it's more surf sounding, but more interesting structures, more interesting structures. What else? Donner Party record will be out soon. Monks of Doom, of course, the Monks of Doom record.
So how come you guys are the only ones on Pitch of Tent without a gloomy, doomy name? I mean, everyone else is eating people to survive in blizzards.
You don't think Campervan Beethoven's a gloomy, doomy name?
No, I think it's just a really weird name.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
I kind of think the Wrestling Worms is a weird name as well.
Yeah.
Or Spot 1019.
It is.
What does it mean?
You know what I also liked is how Vampire Can Mating Oven had the same number of syllables as.
The singer for Box of Laughs, Eric Kirkendall, said that. He was talking about our band.
He called you guys that.
Yeah.
And you thought it was cool enough.
Yeah.
That was nice. Alright, now what's the situation with CDs? I know the company Line in Germany.
Yeah, Line illegally released our 3rd record on CD, and also our 2nd record, I guess.
Yeah, the one that's called
2 and 3. Yeah, but recently on Rough Trade we've released the 3rd record with Vampire King. Yeah, just because Line, really shouldn't have been infiltrating the market without
a reason to buy yours.
Yeah. Also, the quality of that CD actually
is
hissy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the master tapes.
It's one of the few CDs I own 2 different copies of.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, what's the story on radio free translide or whatever, landslide free?
Telephone free landslide.
Yeah.
It was originally put out by Independent Project Records, and they had trouble with Capitol in order to keep it in print, so we sublicensed that. They sublicensed it to Rough Trade, and who was putting out the Pitch Tent stuff. And so subsequently Rough Trade has released that on CD as well.
We got a lot.
Yeah, it's on CD. It sounds really good.
Eugene Chadbourne, it brings up another chapter.
Eugene Chadbourne's our dad.
Now, am I wrong or correct in saying that I thought he played with you in Pittsburgh, Syria, Mosque in '85?
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
He didn't. He's played with us in Phoenix and in San Francisco and LA, I think. And then we did some shows backing him up as, subsequent to the Campervan Chadbourne records. We did some shows with him in Berkeley and San Francisco and Santa Cruz and Los Angeles.
Now, is he a strange person? Is his music, the diversity of his music
normal?
Quite normal?
He's the father of 3 children. His wife lives in North Carolina. Just happens to have a strange job.
Okay, speaking of strange jobs, you guys backed up Tiny Tim down in Columbus a little while back.
Absolutely true.
And I have a tape of it, and it's kind of crazy.
There's some good stuff on it. Yeah, Tiny Tim's a crazy guy.
Yeah. How did you hook up with him that day?
It just was the promoter who realized that Tiny Tim was playing against us across town and wanted us to be on the same bill. Tiny Tim said, "I must have a backup band." So he said,
So he's sort of like, he's a Chuck Berry shtick, you know, comes in the
yeah.
give me a baby.
He was like, well, we'll be doing it like this. I'll be saying, this song will be in D, maestro, and then he'll wave his hand, it's this fast. And then that's how we did it. We just kind of went, oh, okay, tried to play along.
Yeah, it's a fun tape to listen to, you know.
He does some amazing stuff, like I Got You Babe, where he does both parts. That's so great. Or Hound Dog, where he does Elvis covers. Amazing.
And it's just, you know, it's such a breakneck pace, you know,
Yeah.
20 seconds and boom, a new tune.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out what it is.
You know, throw it on for your grandparents and, hey, you remember this dude, this dude's
Right,
great.
right.
That was fun. Say something, why don't you like Bob Dylan? What's wrong with Bob Dylan?
Well, I don't know. My mom used to have a few of his records when I was a little kid, and I kind of grew up listening to a number of things besides that. Like myself, I put on the Beatles always. But yeah, Dylan just never turned me on.
It's running, but no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal, Adam. That's Adam. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like listening to him all that much. I kind of like his early stuff. I mean, nothing against his his ability to write. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, just the music business.
Personally, that's me personally.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I hear you're into Bob Dylan.
More so than I am.
Yeah, I like Bob Dylan, man. He's the only guy that could sit there and like play an acoustic guitar and just kind of like sing some songs, like sing an 8-minute song and like keep you reasonably interested in it, you know. He's kind of pretentious sort of jerk in a way, and burned out, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you look at him historically, you could get really bummed about him, you know, doing things like right as the, you know, anti-war movement was really beginning, like, kind of like he was asked to make a speech at this thing in San Francisco, and he came out and said, well, you know, there's been wars forever and stuff like that, you know, we should, like, protect, you know, sort of change the world through changing ourselves internally and stuff like that, and it's going to be like the biggest cop-out, you know, ever. But he's a great songwriter, you know. It's too bad he got into LSD.
Or the Jesus movement.